Hello and welcome to Hooked on True Crime, the podcast where we unravel the clues, tie up the loose ends, and when no victim becomes a footnote to somebody else's story with your host, Ali Downey.
And Sarah Downey.
Hello, Ali Downey.
Hello,
This is weird.
Yeah.
This is so weird.
It is a bit odd. We're trying video for the first time.
We are.
So we might put this on YouTube. You never know.
It might happen.
It might happen.
Might
We've been promising it for months.
Yeah.
We're going to put them on YouTube, honest.
Once we get over the first one, it'll be plain sailing from here on,
Yeah.
right? Maybe. Anyway, before we get on, first of all, let's introduce
True Crime
the
Dog.
Hooked on True Crime Dog.
True Crime Dog is with us.
She'll be making lots of licking noises probably throughout. So yeah, it's not us.
Yeah, lie down.
But
There we go.
before we do get on, I do have a domestic misdemeanor for you today.
Do you?
I do.
What did I do?
You probably got one for me as well.
I might have one for you.
Well, when we went to our local shop, it wasn't even like a big supermarket where people don't know us. It was our local shop where my daughter works.
The co-op, yes.
When the man gave you back your card after zapping it,
Yes.
you said groovy.
I did say groovy.
That's it. That's my domestic misdemeanor.
That's not a domestic misdemeanor. I'm bringing groovy back.
Oh dear. And bogus apparently.
And bogus. Bogus.
Bogus is alright.
But I'm bringing it back.
Best Bill and Ted film.
In the 90s, I brought sexy back. Now I'm bringing groovy back.
Oh, to have your confidence. Go on then, what's mine?
You know what yours is.
I've forgotten.
We were
An angel.
we were talking about our lovely son,
Yes.
Joe.
Yeah.
Shout out to Joe, absolute legend.
Yeah.
And I was saying he is a lovely, responsible, charming man.
Mm-hmm.
And I said he was much more put together and responsible than I was at his age. And what did you say?
Can't remember.
You said, yeah, but that's a very low bar.
Yeah, but it's true. Anyone that knows you knows that put together and responsible are not adjectives that you would be described.
Okay, yeah,
as.
they're not epithets that are commonly used to describe Ali.
No. Kind. Infectious. Funny. Infectious. That sounds like a
Infectious?
disease. You're not a disease. You're funny. You're kind. You're interesting. You're odd. But they're all like really positive uses of those words.
Yes.
All those words.
But maybe not
Individual.
responsible, practical, and put together.
No, probably not.
I am now.
I bring the practical
Thanks to you.
and the responsible, and you bring the crazy out in me.
Yeah.
So it works.
It does work.
It's work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell the truth. Sorry.
We make it work.
Blunt to a fault.
Yeah. So should we get on?
Yes.
Right.
Oh. Anyway, Ali's got a case for us today because this is what we do. I crochet, which you can't really see in a podcast medium. And,
It's there.
and Ali tells me a story, which I love. And we've just made this into something that we like doing every week.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to listen to us without this bit and seeing us, you can do that over on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Audible.
Or like and subscribe.
Yes.
There'll be more.
Yes. And if you do listen to us, then you'll know that last week we covered a tough crime, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, it was the toughest. Yeah.
It was. It was a harrowing and a difficult episode for both of us, I think. It was tough for me to research and write up, and I know it was tough for you to listen to.
It was. I had dreams about it.
Yeah. Even though it was obviously a story which had to be told.
Yeah, it was a story about a husband who thought his wife was taken over by a fairy changeling.
Yeah.
And had to banish the changeling, and he did that in an extreme, torturous way that
Yes.
ended in her death.
It was horrific. So this week, I thought we'd go a bit lighter.
Yay!
And cover a topic that doesn't leave everybody on the verge of tears by the end of the episode.
Yeah, that was very sad. Bridget Clary, if you'd like to go and look that up.
Absolutely, it's a great episode. But this week I've gone for a subject that is very rarely covered by true crime podcasts. Escapes from prison.
Oh, okay.
Specifically, we're going to talk about some French prison escapes, or at least one, because the French just seem to have a lovely sense of theatre and spectacle about it.
All right, so I'm kind of imagining that these are going to be like really almost like picture 007 kind of escapes, rolling under fences, maybe helicopter.
Some of them will
Maybe
be.
cars driven straight in through the barriers or something. I don't know.
It's interesting that you say helicopter because there will be an overarching theme to these.
Oh, okay.
And
so
that...
it's not just like a little chisel in a
no
in a cake.
No.
Oh, does anyone ever do that? Has that ever happened?
I don't know if a chisel in a cake's ever happened, but I'll look it up. But all of these that we're going to talk about, and I say these because in classic me style, I meant to do one episode and it's turned into at least 2 or 3, but they will all involve escapes from prison.
Or 17.
Yeah. Using a helicopter. True. And the first one that we're going to talk about is the story of a man named Michel Vajour.
Well, that's a very French name.
It's a very French name. And he was also known as the King of Escape.
Oh, okay. So like Houdini.
Yes.
Am I picturing Houdini? He's going to like get out of handcuffs with a little pin.
More like MacGyver.
Oh, no, you explained this
Who I explained to you, didn't I?
Yeah, I'd never watched MacGyver. And Ali said that's MacGyvering. And I was like, what are you talking about?
He's MacGyvering his way out of prison. You were like, what?
Yeah. So tell everybody else in case you probably have heard of it.
Yeah, but MacGyver is an American detective series that became a bit of a cliche where he would escape captivity all the time using paper clips and tape and things that were around him.
Yeah.
So, Michel Vajour. He was born in 1951 in Saint-Quentin in northern France. I apologise to any French listeners for all of my pronunciation during this. Michel had a varied childhood. His parents decided when he was 4 years old that in fact they didn't really want children.
Oh dear.
And they left young Michel, I know, in the care of his aunt Germaine.
Okay. Was he happy with his auntie?
Well, his aunt loved him, like he was her own, and doted on Michel. And he also found a father figure in the local priest who helped care for Michel and taught the young boy to shoot and took him hunting and camping in the countryside and taught him to climb trees and a bit of sort of survival.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yes. Unfortunately, when Michel was 8, his Aunt Germaine died of cancer, and Michel was forced to go back into the care of his alcoholic parents who had never really wanted children in the first place.
Oh, goodness.
His mother was neglectful and his father was abusive, which drove Michel to become a rebellious teen.
Yeah. Well, it's not surprising, is it?
No.
I mean, most teens are rebellious without any of that going on.
I wasn't. I was adorable.
I doubt that very much. But also, your parents were quite hippie.
Yeah, okay, they were.
And quite free, so...
This is
probably
true.
Didn't have the same sort of standard that everybody else had to live by.
I had nothing to rebel against. That was the problem.
I think it's a rite of passage as a teenager to just rebel.
Yeah. Now, this rebellious streak and hanging around with the wrong crowd soon dragged young Michel into juvenile petty crime. His name was well known to the local police for theft, criminal damage, and general thuggery.
Criminal damage.
Criminal damage.
So you're doing him that criminal damage. You've only had like a sip of wine.
I know.
Cheers.
When he was 18 years old, Michel met his first love, a woman named Zabeth, who was soon pregnant. Michel got a job in a factory.
When you say woman, was she older than him?
I think she was a year older than him.
No,
so he would have been 18, she would have been 19. So he gets a job in a factory, but he found that he couldn't leave his criminal past behind him. He missed the thrill of the crime.
Okay, but we're talking petty crime still.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Michel spent his weekdays working to bring in money and his weekends drinking and joyriding in stolen cars.
Okay. What time did he have with his girlfriend?
After work on the weekdays.
Okay, and then he just disappeared off and
disappeared off on the weekend.
Joyriding as
yeah.
well.
Now, obviously, stealing cars is a terrible crime, and drinking and driving is arguably an even worse
That's a terrible crime.
Yeah. But in Michel's defense, he always returned the car to where he'd taken it from before in the morning after he'd finished joyriding.
So he's just borrowing it.
Yeah, technically he's just stealing the petrol, but he's borrowing the car.
Okay, so he's a criminal with some kind of moral compass.
Yeah.
Kinda.
And this goes on until one night in 1969, when Michel was too drunk to remember where he had taken the car from. So he just parked the stolen vehicle in his driveway and went to sleep.
Okay. So the police are going to go come and find that stolen car in his driveway.
Of course they are. But I can't help but sympathise with Michel here, because my Uncle Alan, now sadly passed away, did a very similar thing, but with a double-decker bus.
With the bus. Yeah, you must tell the story.
He was... so my Uncle Alan was on a double-decker bus on the way home from the pub, hammered, and the driver stopped and got off to go for a bathroom break. Foolishly, the bus driver left the keys in the bus, and Uncle Alan, being the only one on the bus, thought, I'm not waiting for the bus driver to pee. That could take literally minutes.
Oh, you became Uncle Alan.
Yeah. So Uncle Alan drove the bus home and parked it outside his house. And the next morning he was woken up by the police knocking on his door and asking if he had stolen a double-decker bus last night.
I have questions. Did he stop at any of the bus stops along
No.
the way to pick anyone up and drop them off?
No, he didn't.
Aww.
Now, this was obviously hard to deny because the bus was parked in the street.
Yeah.
And my Uncle Alan was charged with Grand Theft Auto.
Did he spend any time in prison?
He was fined.
Oh, okay. Wow, they got off quite lightly, I think.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous, I imagine. But this is Glasgow we're talking, aren't we? So I imagine worse things happen to buses.
This would have been Ayrshire.
Okay. Oh, yeah, probably less likely to have the bus stolen there.
Exactly.
I bet they changed their rules in the buses after that you can't leave your keys in the bus.
I don't think you were supposed to leave your keys in the bus anyway.
I couldn't imagine the memo.
So let's get back to France.
Yeah.
Like my Uncle Alan, in the morning, Michel was abruptly awakened by the sound of French police kicking his front door in, and his girlfriend screaming in the bed beside him.
It would be a bit of a surprise.
Yeah. Michel, panicking, and probably still a bit drunk, jumped out of the first floor bedroom window and legged it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he jumped out the bedroom window and broke his legs.
No.
Okay, so he's run away, leave his girlfriend in trouble, really.
Leaving the pregnant Zabeth to explain things to the police.
And terrified as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the
French police always carry guns as well, don't they? They're
they
scary.
do. They always carry guns.
English police, in my opinion.
But fortunately, they are very understanding.
Good.
Unfortunately, the thing they understood was that technically Zabeth had been harbouring a known criminal, and so they packed poor pregnant Zabeth off to jail.
I thought you said they were understanding.
That was sarcasm.
Oh. Oh dear. This is not good. He's got to come back. Did Zabeth know what was going on?
That he was stealing cars?
Yeah.
Yes, she did. While Zabeth was in jail, Michel couch-surfed at friends' houses for a few weeks until the police caught up with him and arrested him for Grand Theft Auto.
Okay.
Since Michel already had previous convictions for petty theft and stealing other cars, he was given a fairly hefty sentence of 30 months in prison.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a decent amount of time for a fairly petty crime.
Yeah.
I know that drinking and driving, but they wouldn't be able to prove that.
No.
Okay.
During this 2.5 years in prison, Michel became known as a problem prisoner. He got into fights, he was involved in riots. Another thing he did was make friends, although probably not the kind of friends you really want.
Okay.
Michel himself would say later in a radio interview that had it not been for this initial time in prison, he would not have escalated his criminal activity to major crimes.
No. A lot of people say that, don't they?
They do.
But there has to be, a balance, doesn't there? You're in there because you commit crimes.
Yes.
You're going to meet other people that commit crimes. Do you learn from each other?
Yes.
Probably. Could you change if you wanted to?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And some people do.
Yeah. We've seen that.
After he had served his 30 months, Michael was released in 1972 when he was 21 years old. Being something of a romantic soul, the first thing that Michel wanted to do was track down his former love, Zabeth.
And see the baby.
And his child, yes.
Who will be, 2 now?
Yeah. Being something of a criminal, the first thing he did to this end was steal a car and head for the Chalon de Champagne region, which was the general area where he thought Zabeth was.
Does he steal any particular brand of car?
No.
Is it just whatever's easy?
Whatever's easiest.
It's not got the style.
Yeah.
With this crime.
Not at all. Now, he didn't have an address for his ex-girlfriend or anything because Zabeth had quite reasonably cut him off and ghosted him after he left her to get arrested when she was pregnant.
Yeah, that's fair.
And in fact, Zabeth was doing very well for herself. She'd moved on and was in a committed relationship with a police officer.
Oh, he doesn't want to turn up at that house.
No, he doesn't, but he doesn't make it there anyway. I don't know if it's true, but I'd like to think that Zabeth is with one of the officers who arrested her.
We can hope.
We can hope.
I'm not sure it's a terribly romantic thing to tell your child, your children as you grow up. You met after your dad arrested me, but it's an interesting story.
Yeah. Anyway, Michel is driving across France in another stolen car with no driver's license when, wouldn't you know it, he gets pulled over by the police.
Of course, yeah.
Michel panics again, jumps out of the car and legs it across a field. Unfortunately, Michel legs it so quickly that he forgets to grab his wallet and his identity papers, which he leaves in the car for the police to find.
Okay.
Michel,
but he's still on the loose.
He's on the loose. Michel escaped on foot, but running is tiring, so he quickly steals another car.
Yeah.
The police in the area were now on the lookout for him, specifically, and as a known car thief, also for any stolen vehicles. So it wasn't long before Michel was pulled over again and arrested for GTA and driving without a license. This time
you like saying GTA, don't you?
I do like saying GTA.
You're such a boy.
This time he gets a 3-year sentence and he's back in prison.
It just seems such a petty thing to do to keep winding up in prison, doesn't it?
Yes.
It must be so upsetting for him in a way. Because, oh God, I'm back in prison and all I'm doing is stealing cars.
Yeah.
It's just silly.
I know.
He needs to grow up.
However, Michel didn't like prison. He hadn't enjoyed his stay the last time, and he wasn't enjoying it this time.
But I thought he made loads of friends.
Not good friends. Also, French prisons have a really poor reviews on TripAdvisor. 1 star, would not stay here again.
Yeah, if you'd like to see us stay in a French prison, let us know.
Yeah. Michel became obsessed with escaping his incarceration. He spent hours thinking and planning possible escapes, and also watching the routines and the schedules of the prison.
Okay, how would you escape the prison if you had the chance? How would you do it?
Me?
Have you thought about it? You've done all this research.
Oh, God, I don't know. It would have to be non-violent. I'd tunnel my way out.
Well, that'd take a long time.
I'd do it Andy Dufresne style.
You may as well wait the 3 years and be let out.
In that case, maybe I'd have your help and I'd do it in a similar way to Michel Vajour.
Yeah, I'd go in there like the Terminator and get you out, don't worry.
We'll get there. Michel soon noticed that the prisoners who were compliant and didn't cause any trouble were given the job of loading and unloading the delivery trucks at the entrance to the prison. Michel saw a way out.
Yeah, let's do that job.
He became a model inmate, and before long he was put on loading duty at the front gates. On his first day doing this, Michel unloaded a laundry truck and then loaded himself into it.
The first day?
First day.
This is very cheeky.
Yeah.
Given it a few days at least.
Hidden in a laundry bag in the back of the truck, Michel was driven to freedom.
Okay, well, you hear about this or see this in films, don't you?
Yeah.
This is quite a common one. Does it work?
It worked for Michel.
What, did he get away forever?
No, absolutely not.
Oh.
On the outside, Michel was now an escaped prisoner.
Yeah.
He couldn't just go and get a job. So he became a burglar.
Okay. Fine, I suppose. Well, it's not fine. It's a terrible crime.
No, it's a terrible crime.
No, it's a worse crime than the crime before, but how else are you going to make?
Yeah, he can't just go and get a job.
I suppose.
No. But breaking into homes was outside of Michel's wheelhouse. He had a lot of experience stealing cars, but he was an amateur when it came to home invasion and burglary.
Yeah.
He robbed a few houses successfully for small hauls, but then one night when he broke into a house, he woke the family who were sleeping upstairs.
And I hope they were furious and attacked him with something.
No, they just called the police.
No, okay.
And the police simply waited outside the house for Michel to come out the front door with a bag of stolen goods over his shoulder.
Mm.
And it was back to prison for Michel Vajour.
How long is he going to get this time?
I think he got 6 years this time.
And they just say, you're going to be in prison for 6 years, hopefully.
Yeah,
You don't
maybe.
get out.
Narrator's voice, he was not in prison for 6 years. But this prison was more secure than the previous one.
Right, yeah. You'd send him to Fort Knox at this point, wouldn't you?
It had a barbed wire fence and then a 6-meter wall surrounding the compound, and no chance of just loading himself into a delivery truck.
And were there snipers up on, you know, what are they called?
Watchtowers?
Watchtowers? That's the word. Menopause.
There were snipers, I think, yes.
Hmm.
But Michel sat back and started watching and waiting.
Mm.
Whenever he was outside in the exercise yard, he paced, looking at the fence, trying to find some weakness that he could exploit. Before long, he found it. One of the sections of the barbed wire chain fencing was rusted. So rusted that Michel thought he would be able to break through it.
Okay.
One afternoon, Michel saw his chance. The guards were not paying attention, and Michel quickly pulled at the rusty bit of fencing until he tore a hole in it big enough to squeeze through. The 6-meter high concrete wall was apparently climbable on the inside, and so climb it Michel did.
Oh, yeah, I suppose once you've got... They're probably thinking nobody's going to get past the
Barbed wire fence, exactly. Unfortunately, although the wall was climbable on the inside, it was smooth as glass on the outside. So Michel had to risk jumping from the top of the wall to the ground below.
Well, it's a risk worth taking if you don't want to be in prison.
It is, but it did not go well.
Did you break legs?
He hit the ground hard and broke both of his ankles and his tibia.
Ouch. That's it then. He's not going to try and escape again because that's painful. Let's
Michel's
just stay in prison now.
scream of absolute agony when he landed and broke his bones alerted the guards, who went outside to investigate.
He couldn't even be in agony quietly. He would have got away with it. Just sat there until he felt just a tiny little bit better and crawl his way up. Yeah.
So the guards go out and find the completely immobilized Michel Vajour lying on the ground at the base of the wall, crying out in pain.
I nearly got away with it.
Yeah. I'm not sure if we should actually count this as an escape. Michel did make it out of the prison,
yeah, he did,
but only by about 6 feet, and only for a matter of minutes.
Yeah, I adjudicate this one. That was an escape. Wasn't successful, but still an escape.
For all of that effort, Michel got a long stay in the prison hospital while his ankles healed, and then a shorter stay in solitary for attempting to escape.
Mm-hmm.
But this did nothing to dampen Michel's dream of escape, and as soon as he was back in the general prison population, he was planning his next attempt.
How's he going to do it this time? So surely it'd be a little bit more professional.
Only a little bit more professional. For his next trick, Michel would enlist some help from another prisoner, whose name I couldn't find, but the anonymous inmate was more than happy to escape alongside Michel.
Mm-hmm. Well, you would be. You know he's escaped 3 times before.
Yeah.
Like, okay, whatever you say.
And his new plan was, to be honest, exactly the same as his last plan, except with the addition of a rope made from torn bed sheets to lower the pair down on the other side of the wall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you live and learn.
Amazingly, this worked, since the prison hadn't seen fit to replace or even repair the rusted section of fence.
How long after is this?
7 months.
Yeah, so there's a time to recover, and they've not replaced the fence.
They've not replaced the fence. Michel and his friend went out into the yard with their improvised bed sheet rope stuffed down their trousers.
And nothing to see here.
Nothing to see. Looking like David Swindle.
A shower, not a grower.
Yeah. And they squeezed through the same hole that Michel had made during his last escape.
Right.
Once they'd scaled the 6-meter wall, they tied the bed sheets off and lowered themselves safely to the ground below. However, it would not be long before Michel and his mate were back behind bars. He was fast becoming an expert at getting out of prison, just not so good at staying out of prison.
Some would say an expert at getting caught. Also.
Yes. Michel and his new friend began burgling houses together, and they were soon caught and sent right back to the same prison that they had escaped from, except now with shiny new 4-year sentences.
And new fences.
And new fence, yes. And although Michel was back in the same prison, he was now housed in the higher security wing of the prison, with no normal access to the fence or to the wall.
This is almost like his career has now become escaping prison.
Yeah.
So it's like he's full focus. He's not really thinking outside the box, thinking I just do this sentence and I'm out of prison anyway. He's thinking, I'm going to escape prison, and then he escapes and comes back in again for longer this time.
And the funny thing is, although he's caught for burglary, he gets more years for escape than he ever does for his crimes.
Yeah.
He was also kept separate from his friend who had escaped with him last time, and most of the rest of the prison population. Michel was not to be dissuaded, though, and he quickly made some new friends in the high security wing.
Oh dear. What sort of friends?
French mob friends.
Okay, well, they might have access to things that might help him get out a little bit more successfully, maybe.
He doesn't need help.
Oh, he's the Houdini.
He is the Houdini of prison escapes.
Yeah, so successful.
Or the MacGyver. His new cellmates were two men called Gilles Bourgeon and Luigi.
Well, Luigi's a great name.
Yeah. Gilles was a member of one of France's most notorious crime families, and Gilles and Michel became firm friends. Soon Michel was comfortable enough to share his next escape plan with his new friends, and this one was the most elaborate yet.
Are they trustworthy new friends?
Yes, they are.
Oh, so they're not going to...
They're not going to rat him in.
Okay.
One afternoon, when all the inmates were in the cafeteria for lunch, Michel started a scuffle with Gilles. The two men began arguing and then pretended to fight.
Distraction technique. Like it.
As soon as the scuffle appeared to be getting physical, the head guard who was in the cafeteria came running over and broke the pair up. Gilles backed down, but Michel started to resist and got into a scuffle with the head guard. So Michel is rolling around on the floor with the guard. But during the scuffle with the guard, Michel reaches into his pocket and pulls out a lump of wax.
Yeah, there is tumbleweed moment here. What do you mean? What is that going to do?
And also, where did he get the wax?
But I don't care. Surely that is not a weapon.
It's not a weapon, no.
How is it going to help him? Oh, maybe will he get his keys and put it on the wax?
Exactly.
That's what he's going to do.
Clever. Michel had been keeping the wax from the outside of his Baby Bell cheeses for weeks. His Baby Bell cheeses.
In prison?
In prison. And he had a big handful of the soft red wax ready and warm in his pocket.
Well, I think this is a genius plan. He's going to make an imprint of the key.
Without the guard realising what Michel was doing, he managed to grab the skeleton key on the guard's belt and make an impression of the key in the Baby Bell cheese wax.
Okay. But I'm thinking, if this is the time where they've got Baby Bell in prison, surely then they have more a sort of electronic system of opening and closing.
The doors?
Big doors, yeah.
No, not yet.
Okay. Right, so I love this scheme at the moment. This is professional. He's gone up a notch now.
And he's going to go up a notch again. He quickly puts the wax, now with an imprint of a skeleton key, back into his pocket before he's carted off to solitary for fighting with the guard. When Michel got out of solitary confinement, he went back to his cell with a perfect imprint of the prison's skeleton cell key in his Baby Bell wax.
Okay, this is a good plan so far, but how are they going to melt down something to make a key? Is this going to be their knives and forks?
They're not going to melt it. For the next few weeks, Michel, Gilles and Luigi work on filing a piece of iron down into the same shape as the skeleton key, using the Baby Bell impression as a guide.
That's an awful lot of work, isn't it?
It would have been a lot of work. Finally, the piece of iron looked like it fit perfectly into the Baby Bell mould, and they were ready for phase 2.
Okay, what's phase 2?
Because having the key on its own should have been useless.
Yeah.
The door to the high security wing of the prison could only be opened from the outside.
Oh.
And it was a 3-inch thick metal door with a bulletproof plastic window.
Okay, well, I'm confused then. Why do they even need a key? Because if they've got to go outside first to open the door in the first place, then why do they need a key?
Well, big stone prisons like this are notoriously cold places.
Mm.
And Michel had on hand an immersion heater to warm his cell.
I'm not sure that's safe in a prison.
With a quick bit of MacGyvering, the element from the heater was removed, and the 3 men used it to melt a hole in the bulletproof glass window large enough to fit an arm through.
Oh, it's very naughty, but I'm quite impressed, actually.
Yeah,
So far.
you kind of can't help but root for him. When Michel reached through, he was elated to find that the key worked and the security door opened.
Yay! Or boo. I'm not quite sure how I'm coming out on this.
He's going to make it out.
Stop stealing cars and burglaring people, though.
He's going to make it out. But at this point, Gilles and Luigi decided to stay behind because they only had a few months left on their sentences anyway. And they'd never actually expected this escape to work.
No, they were just quite impressed that it did, I guess. Yeah.
Michel, though, now had access to the yard and his trusty hole in the fence.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and it's still there. They didn't patch it up.
They didn't patch it up properly, no. They repaired it sort of ad hocly, and he was able to go through it again.
Never enough monies in prisons, is there?
Which is exactly how he escaped again.
Okay.
Through the hole with a makeshift rope made from bed sheets.
Okay, we remembered the rope this time. This is good. So
Yep.
he's got over the wall. He's clear.
Yep.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is this it for now? Forever?
No,
Oh.
absolutely not.
Oh.
While inside, Gilles had told Michel that if he did get out, he could look up Gilles' family and they would take care of him.
Oh, this is good. So stop him going out thieving from people and stealing cars.
Well, I mean, Gilles' family is a notorious French crime family.
But it's organised crime.
Yes, he
I'm
won't
not
be.
saying that's better.
He won't be
I'm
stealing
just
cars,
saying-
at least.
Saying that maybe he'll change his ways. You never know.
So on the outside,
Optimism.
that's exactly what Michel does. And he quickly ends up staying with a French mob family and doing various small petty crimes for the French mob.
Okay. Drug running and things.
Yes. Also, while working for the French mob, Michel met and fell in love with his former cellmate Gilles' sister, Nadine Bourgeon.
Okay, is Jill going to be alright about this?
Gilles' fine with this.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Nadine was no shrinking violet herself. She had a rap sheet of her own, which included fraud and robbery.
So he's well and truly got himself in with the wrong people.
Yes.
So this is going to end in an arrest.
Well, Michel and Nadine had a whirlwind romance, which resulted in the birth of a daughter, who they named Betty.
That's a whirlwind if they've had a daughter. That's at least 9 months together.
That is true, I suppose, yeah. Before Michel was arrested again, this time in the middle of an armed robbery. I say armed, but Michel was actually using a toy gun.
That makes no difference. It's still...
It makes no difference to the
people
poor
with,
cashier, exactly.
Yeah.
Michel was sentenced to 23 years for armed robbery.
Wow. That's a big step up now.
Yeah.
And for escape? Did he get anything for
Yeah, that was
escape?
also for his previous escape as well.
Yeah, so it's added on.
However, in 1979, he would stage another daring escape, this time from a French courtroom.
I think the courtroom ones possibly will be easier.
While Michel was attending a preliminary hearing for another charge of robbery from an earlier crime. Before he was transported from prison to court, he carved a fake gun from 3 bars of soap which he'd stuck together in the prison, and he painted it black using shoe polish.
Can't even give prisoners soap. I think the only way to go now is make prison smelly.
He's inventive, though, isn't he?
Oh yeah, you can't say he's not trying his best.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's got a brain that thinks outside the box, definitely. But goodness.
In the courtroom, Michel whips out the fake gun, and he took the female judge hostage.
Okay, and they all believing this soap gun is...
They're all believing this
thing,
soap
and
gun's a real gun.
He's getting shoe polish all over his hand, I'm assuming at this point.
He threatened to shoot the poor woman if any of the court police followed him, and then he backed out of the courthouse and legged it back to his life of crime and his love, Nadine.
He's gone back to the same place, though. Then surely they can just go and find him.
Yeah.
Mm.
The plan was to hide out and keep robbing until the couple had enough money to flee to Argentina. To make this easier, since by this point Michel's picture had been plastered all over French newspapers, he got plastic surgery on his face to change his appearance.
No.
Yes.
Like you hear films and stuff like this, you don't think this actually really happened. This
He did
actually happened.
Yep. And he began using the name Daniel.
All right. Fair. And we know he hasn't got any of his identity documents because they were in the car when he was arrested second time.
Yeah.
So he's obviously used his mob connections to get a new passport.
Yeah, fake identity papers.
So he's all good.
Yep.
It's all good to go.
Yeah.
So nothing can go wrong at this point.
I mean, it can kind of go wrong. Michel and Nadine managed to evade the authorities for a full 2 years before he was arrested again in 1981 for robbing another bank. This time with a real gun.
In Argentina?
No, still in France. He hasn't made it to Argentina.
Okay.
By this point, the French police are tired of being made to look incompetent, so they send Michel to a high-security prison, L'Ensanté, in downtown Paris.
So this is even more high security than the high security
Yes.
department in the other prison.
Yes.
Okay.
For a sentence of 28 years.
Wow. Well, I think now is the time to just hedge your bet and just do your time.
And give up?
He's not going to.
He's not going to give up. But La Santé is a very different beast to most prisons. It was constructed in 1867, and it was designed to hold the most dangerous and violent inmates that France had. Built in a star shape called a panopticon,
Nice.
the corridors of the cells all spread out from a central control hallway where the guards could see and monitor every single cell from the centre.
Sounds like very good engineering. I'm liking it.
Yeah. It housed terrorists, assassins, and mob hitmen.
All people you don't want to escape.
Yes.
And they've put him in there as well.
Yeah. And for more than 100 years, it was said that once you entered La Santé, you didn't leave until your sentence was over or you died.
Yeah.
There
Maybe that will give him an idea.
There was no rusty sections of fencing here. And the 10-metre high walls were entirely unclimbable and patrolled by guards with sniper rifles.
Yeah, this doesn't sound nice. But surely he could pretend he was dead. That's the way I'd go.
He could pretend he was dead.
Maybe.
But he doesn't.
She says. I don't know how I'd pretend I was dead. Breathing might give it away.
Yeah. Yoga?
But you're Zen.
Yeah. But Michel does have something that he hadn't had for any of his other escapes. Help from the outside. He had Nadine, who visited him regularly and even married him at a ceremony held inside a prison back in 1979 before he escaped from the courtroom.
And she is a boss bitch, as we know.
She is a boss bitch. Over the next few years, the couple planned Michael's most audacious escape. By late 1985, they'd worked everything out, but there was still a lot of preparation to do before the big day. First, on the outside, Nadine began taking helicopter flying lessons at a flight school just outside of Paris.
This is where the police should be keeping an eye on your partners. Just a little, drive by every now and again, just see what you're up to. Just a little bit of intelligence to find out what your partner's doing. If you know that person escapes as regular as clockwork, then maybe just keep an eye on his known associates.
Why is she learning to fly a helicopter?
Yeah.
She did use a fake name, Lena Rigaud, but before long, she has her helicopter's pilot license.
Mm.
Now, Nadine begins practicing what she's going to need to do for the escape.
Yeah.
She rents a helicopter at least once a week for about 4 months and becomes proficient at holding the vehicle steady in crosswinds and landing and taking off from enclosed spaces.
This must be quite an expensive journey to get him out, mustn't it? It must cost quite a lot of money to
Rent a helicopter.
I imagine, and learn to fly in the first place.
I don't know about the pilot license, but it's about 300 francs an hour to rent the helicopter, which she paid every time in cash to leave no paper trail.
Yeah. It's kind of thought of everything so far.
Yeah. But I also think it's worth mentioning that she must have been quite a good helicopter pilot, because the Alouette 2, which she rented, was a notoriously difficult vehicle to control, especially with any precision.
Yeah.
The Alouette 2 is one of those old 70s style helicopters with a bubble cockpit and skids on the bottom instead of wheels. If you remember the TV show MASH, it's like the helicopters which dropped injured men off on stretchers.
Yeah, I think of that as a helicopter. I don't think of anything with wheels as a helicopter.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I think
in my head, I feel like, you know, those little toy helicopters you get from Lego and
Yeah.
stuff. That
They
is
all
the
have
helicopter
skids.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
of.
Anyway, after months of practice, Nadine finally feels ready. And she and Michel schedule the escape for the 26th of May.
How are they going to do this? Is she going to land on the roof? Is she going to land on their exercise yard?
In the morning, Nadine goes to the helicopter rental place and rents her helicopter, the Alouette 2. She takes off and heads towards l'Ensanté prison, where she hopes to meet Michel on the roof.
No. Okay. Does no one suspect anything as this plane comes towards them?
Or the helicopter?
Yeah.
As she flies in, she would have been getting shouted at by air traffic control.
When you said, a helicopter, does that mean a helicopter is not classed as a plane?
Not a plane. It's a helicopter. It's an aircraft.
Yeah.
But it's
But
not a plane.
classed as an aeroplane.
No, it's not an aeroplane.
No. I don't think I knew that. I just thought they were all planes.
No, they're all aircraft, but aeroplane, helicopter,
Different.
different.
One's got 2 wings. One's got a little spinny thing.
Yeah, spinny things.
Spinny thing.
Rotor blades. Now, while Nadine was learning to fly a helicopter, Michel was also busy preparing for the big escape. He has another accomplice inside in the form of his next door neighbour, a man called Pierre Hernandez.
Is he going to take him with him?
He plans to. It does not work out. He and Pierre...
Die?
No, he doesn't die.
Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Carry on.
He and Pierre have come up with a truly ballsy bluff to get them access to the roof.
What? What could they possibly say for the guards to let them up on the roof?
Well, first, Michel carves himself another fake gun. This one from wood.
He's so good at these guns, though.
And he paints it black.
If only he used his evil for good, he could have been, just making fake guns.
Yeah.
Well, not fake guns. Maybe
But-
the fake guns would never be a good.
And
What would be the point? Toys. Toys. You could sell them as toys.
fake gun is good, but Michel knows that just a gun isn't going to be enough. There are guards with sniper rifles. They'll just shoot him, even if he does have a hostage.
Yeah.
So Michel plans to take it to the next level.
I was going to carve out a
At
bomb or something.
At about 10 a.m. on the 26th of May,
Mm.
the guards at La Santé prison hear a commotion coming from one of the corridors.
Right.
Looking down the hallway, they see Michel and Pierre walking down the corridor with a guard held hostage. Pierre is holding the guard, and Michel has his fake wooden gun, painted black, pressed to the guard's side with one hand. But in his other hand, he's holding 2 live grenades.
No, yeah, I knew it'd be a bomb or some description. But also, he's still colouring it all in with shoe polish.
Not the grenades.
But the gun, so it's still getting shoe polish everywhere. I mean, surely someone's noticing something.
Nope. Michel dramatically pulls the pin from the grenade with his teeth and tells the guards in the control hall to open the doors or he'll blow himself and the hostage up.
Yeah.
Pierre, who also has a grenade, in inverted commas, pulls the pin from his and brandishes the explosive menacingly.
I suppose I was going to say when he throws this grenade, it will land dunk, like you'd expect it to sound at least a little bit hollow, but I suppose because they've never heard a grenade being thrown before, I imagine.
Also, he's not going to throw it.
Oh,
If he throws it, it won't blow up and they'll know it's not real.
yeah, but they'll run, wouldn't they?
They'd run.
Just run really fast, just in case it was delayed.
They'd run, yeah. The guards in the control room are all stunned. They can't shoot Michel and Pierre, since if they drop the grenades, they'll blow up. And if either man throws a grenade, it will blow up.
Yeah.
So they open the doors to the roof of the prison, and they follow the pair with their guns drawn.
At this point, though, you've gone to all this trouble and they really think it's a grenade. Do you just get them to open the door out to freedom? I forget the helicopter. I just walk out.
Suppose so. But yeah, but then you're not getting away very fast, then, are you?
No, but the helicopter can meet you around the corner.
It could, yeah.
Meet you somewhere.
Yeah. Now, obviously, the likelihood of the men actually being able to smuggle grenades into the maximum security prison is extremely remote. And in reality, the grenades are in fact nectarines, which Michel had smuggled out of the cafeteria and then painted green with paint taken from the craft room.
Oh, look. Do not let that man in a hot craft room.
Yeah.
It ends really badly.
This is what happens. Do not let MacGyver near anything.
I think this is probably why he's not getting shoe polish on his hand then. If he's been in the craft room, surely he's got some black paint.
I think he painted the gun this time, yeah. Didn't shoe polish it. But anyway, the guards can't discount the tiny possibility that the grenades are real.
No.
And so they let Michel and Pierre go up to the roof of the prison and also tell all of the sniper guards outside not to shoot the men just in case the grenades are real.
All right, they're risk assessing. I like it. Good. But obviously, naughty.
Meanwhile, Nadine is flying low over Paris and getting frequent calls over the helicopter radio telling her that she's flying into restricted airspace and to turn back. Ignoring the increasingly frantic radio calls, Nadine pilots the helicopter over the roof of La Santé prison and holds it in a perfect hover. Below, she sees Michel and Pierre with fistfuls of fruit and fake firearms. Another accomplice in the helicopter with her sticks his body out and beckons to Michel with a very real machine gun to get into the helicopter now before the guards decide to begin shooting. The guards actually had orders not to fire at the helicopter in case it crashed into the crowded prison yard or the houses nearby.
Oh, so the prison yard's full of prisoners at the minute.
Yes, the prison
so
yard is full of
watching
prisoners.
This go on.
Yep.
Cheering, probably.
Yep. Michel sees his chance. He runs and jumps up, grabbing the skids of the helicopter and dangles from them until the unnamed accomplice pulls him up inside.
Okay, unnamed accomplice. They're all... Surely they can just follow the helicopter.
They can.
And they will.
Yeah.
And he'll be back in prison.
Now...
Sorry, I'm just ruining this, aren't I?
I know we're not describing pictures because we're going to put this on YouTube, but I have to show you this one. Because here's a picture an amateur photographer took of the escape.
Oh, well, so Ali's... Well, you'll see it on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. But if not, for our listeners that are on Spotify, it really just looks like Mission Impossible. There is someone dangling from a helicopter on a roof.
Yeah.
It looks like he's in mid-stride almost.
Yeah.
Legs are apart like he's about to run. But he's hanging off a helicopter.
Yeah, like a boss.
It's certainly a good escape.
It's
impressive.
You've got to give him
props. It's a
props.
spectacle, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a spectre. Like it. Very James Bond. He's going to get caught, and I'll be glad about it.
Well, yeah, he will get caught if he's there for too long. Nadine hovered for a few more moments, waiting for Pierre Hernandez. But Pierre hesitated and found he couldn't make the leap of faith up into the hovering helicopter. Nadine knew that every second counted, and that police outside the prison would be mobilising to catch them wherever they landed. Making a judgment call, she pulls the control stick back, and the helicopter pulled up and began to speed away.
Oh, yeah.
Leaving Pierre Hernandez behind.
Heights aren't for everyone.
I love heights.
I would risk assess that. And in fact, I would try and leap up for the helicopter, miss spectacularly, fall off the roof, and everybody, you can imagine the crowd, they're all going, yay, and escape, and then they go, oh.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I'll probably have a nightmare about that.
Michel would actually later regret leaving Pierre, but his own escape had to take precedent, and in the moment, Nadine made the right decision.
Yeah.
However, it was not over just yet. Police ground units would be scrambling to get ahead of them, and it would only be minutes before either a police helicopter or worse, French Air Force jets were deployed. Nadine weaved and jinked the small Alouette 2 helicopter between buildings as low as she could go to avoid radar, and headed for the football pitch at Paris Saint University.
I mean, surely there are people somewhere at this minute going, where could this helicopter land.
Yes.
Nearby, surely. They're working it out, aren't they?
Yeah. She set the helicopter down on the grass, watched by amazed students, who were even more amazed when 3 people jumped out, one of whom was holding a machine gun.
Oh, my goodness me. A real machine gun this time, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay.
The 3 fugitives ran to a waiting car and disappeared into the busy Paris traffic.
Sorry, who's the third one?
He was just an accomplice.
Oh.
He was going to throw a rope, I think, out of the helicopter for the 2 prisoners to climb up.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they forgot the rope or if it was too
Forgot the rope.
dangly.
Can you imagine you've gone through all this trouble? Oops. Oops.
But no rope was ever thrown.
Oopsie.
So they're off. And they left behind them in the helicopter a wooden gun and 2 nectarines which were painted green.
Grenades, baby, grenades.
Yeah. I would love for that to be the end of the story, because narratively it would be great. But unfortunately, real life does not always work like a movie.
Yeah, and it's not a movie. These are bad people. They should be in prison.
Yeah, but it would be wonderful if the credits could roll now in some sort of 80s French R&B play, and Michael and Nadine could just drive off like Thelma and Louise.
But that didn't end well for Thelma and Louise, did it?
Okay, maybe not exactly like Thelma and Louise, because they drove off a cliff. But you get the idea.
Yeah.
But real life is not a movie.
No.
And the story continues. For a good while, Michel and Nadine do indeed drive off, and they do the whole Bonnie and Clyde thing around France. They even manage to snatch their daughter Betty from under the noses of French police, who had the little girl under constant surveillance. But life on the run is not nearly as easy as it sounds. The couple lived in near constant states of paranoia and fear that they would be recaptured.
I mean, it's got to be a real test for your partnership, hasn't it?
It does. And also, crime was the only real method of income that either of them had known in their lives. So they couldn't just change their identities and get normal jobs.
Well, they could. Couldn't they?
I suppose they could. For 4 months, the couple evaded the French police.
They managed ever to get to Argentina?
No, they never made it to Argentina. But they did manage to rob a few banks during their freedom.
Surely one successful bank robbery would be enough.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, why do you need to keep...
I don't know why everyone seems to rob lots of banks.
Yeah.
But their crime spree would catch up with them in September of 1986. Along with 2 accomplices, Michel planned to rob 2 banks 2 days apart. The first job went like clockwork, and the crew got away with about 770,000 francs.
Oh, that's enough then. Just have a holiday.
I know.
Go to Argentina.
The second job, though, the crew were ratted out to the French police. I think by their getaway driver, because he was never convicted.
Ah, okay.
But whoever tipped the police off,
Might have been an undercover policeman.
They were waiting in force when Michel and his 2 accomplices came out of the Crédit Lyonnais Bank in Paris.
Back to prison we go.
Not cool, yes. Despite the massive number of police and SWAT officers outside the bank, the 3 armed robbers were unwilling to just give themselves up, and a huge gunfight broke out.
Yeah, they've got real guns now.
With the police and the 3 robbers all firing wildly. One of the police officers was hit in the stomach, although no one could say which of the robbers fired the shot. Suddenly, Michel went down with a bullet fired by a SWAT officer in his head.
Oh, that ended badly.
Well, that was enough to make the other 2 surrender, and all 3 were arrested.
Did he die?
No. He spent many months in a coma, but survived being shot in the head.
That man's like a lucky sixpence.
Yeah.
Well, except for the keep going in and out of prison, of course.
Yeah.
Except for that bit. That's crazy.
Now, the police didn't actually know who they had arrested until they took his fingerprints. Because remember, he'd had plastic surgery and stuff. But they took his fingerprints at the hospital and learned that they had finally caught the infamous King of Escape, Michel Vajour.
But that was a good day at the police station.
Yeah. Police also tracked down the hideout of the gang and arrested Nadine a few days later. She was charged with aiding and abetting Michel's escape and sentenced to 10 months in prison. Michel was still in a coma at this point.
Not very long, is it?
No, not for aiding and abetting. Doctors removed the bullet from Michel's brain, but they said he wouldn't live long. When he did live long, they said he would never wake up. When he did wake up, they said he would never walk again.
Is this so this is public money keeping him alive on a machine for a long
absolutely,
time?
yeah.
So in a coma for a long time.
Yep.
Then woke up, then you can't walk, and then he learned to walk.
Yeah, he would walk again, although it would take many years of physical therapy, which he would do in prison.
That's got to be a lot more difficult to escape if you can't walk.
Yes. Michel was sent back to the prison of La Santé.
Yeah.
But the prison was taking no chances with him this time. He was placed in solitary confinement as soon as he arrived. Even in his wheelchair, they were afraid he would effect some sort of miraculous escape.
Yeah. Well, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
At least, finally, we were aware that he is an escape risk.
Yes. He was only allowed out for his physical therapy, and once he could walk again, the guards were even more wary of him.
Mm.
So Michel Vajour spent an astonishing 17 years in solitary confinement without any human contact except his guards and, for the first few years, the prison doctors.
Oh, dear. Did it send him a bit wacky?
No. Sadly, for the Love Conquers All storyline, when Nadine completed her 10-month sentence and was released, she decided that since the likelihood of Michel ever walking again was small, and the likelihood of him ever being released or escaping again seemed even smaller, she needed to move on, and the couple separated.
Mm.
Nadine moved to the French countryside with her daughter Betty to live a quiet and, most importantly, honest life.
How did she manage to buy the house in the countryside, one wonders?
Probably money from her family, which is
Crime money.
Funded by crime, yes. Yeah. Michel, as I've already said, did eventually walk again, but still spent 17 years in solitary confinement in La Santé prison.
Mm.
There was, however, one final escape attempt that would vindicate the prison's extreme measures in keeping Michel securely locked up.
Okay, what did you do this time?
Well, in
Does
solitary...
it involve soap or Baby Bell's
I don't know the full plan because it's not successful. But in solitary confinement, Michel had minimal human contact, but he was allowed to send and receive letters.
Mm-hmm.
A law student named Jamilia began writing to Michel in prison after she wrote a paper on his escapes. Jamila became enamored with Michel and decided that it was unfair that he was kept in solitary confinement.
Well, it kind of is.
She decided to try and recreate, in part, the famous helicopter escape of 1986.
What do you mean, in part, without the helicopter?
Well, in a different way.
Mm.
In 1993, she walked onto an airfield just outside of Paris and hijacked a helicopter by pulling a gun on the pilot.
Does she know how to fly a helicopter?
She took the pilot.
Oh, well, fair enough.
Pulls the gun, fly.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
She intended to have the pilot fly to La Santé prison and then threatened to crash the helicopter into the prison unless Michel was brought to the roof for extraction.
Surely they wouldn't have a problem with you flying straight into the prison. Go for it.
Well, that would kill prisoners.
Not into the actual prison. Just bring everyone in. She's threatening, so bring them all in. Then they go into this building that's made for keeping people in. It's not going to be able to be broken by a light helicopter. They're light, aren't they?
Yeah, yes, and the Alouette 2 is a very small helicopter.
Yeah, it wouldn't do it. They'd just kill them.
Anyway, unfortunately, the authorities had learned from the last escape, and they'd now installed high-tension anti-helicopter wires around the prison, so no aircraft could approach.
I love it. So they just string wire across.
Yeah, very high-tension metal wire, and that'll wreck a helicopter or a plane.
Okay, and they don't know about this. They drive straight into it.
They didn't drive straight into it because the pilot saw them.
Straight into it, sorry.
The pilot saw them.
Yeah.
But he couldn't get close to the prison, and he was forced to land just outside the walls in the street. Jamila was arrested and charged with attempting to break Michel out of prison.
So this law student's going to go to prison herself now?
Yes. Now, Michel would undoubtedly have known exactly what was going on when he heard the helicopter.
Mm.
He was even able to see it land outside from his teeny tiny prison cell window.
Mm.
Amazingly, this, he later said, was the thing that finally broke him and forced him to change.
Yeah.
An intelligent and honest young woman had just ruined her career in law and given up her freedom for about a year, trying to break him out.
Yeah.
Michel later stated that he realized that the real prison wasn't the concrete walls that kept him in, it was the cycle of adrenaline and violence that he'd been trapped in since he was a teenager.
It's very deep thinking. This time in prison has given him time to think.
Yeah.
Solitary confinement probably does that for you.
Yeah, 17 years in solitary confinement will do that.
It's cruelty, isn't it, really?
Michel Vajour served the rest of his sentence without incident, and in 2003, now in his late 50s, was released from La Santé prison. For the first time since he was 21 years old, in 1972, Michel walked out the front doors of a prison a genuinely free man, not a fugitive or an escaped convict. And Jamila was waiting for him.
Oh, that's kind of cute. How old was he at this point?
Late 50s.
What a life to lead.
Yeah. They married.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, are still together today.
Oh, that's kind of cute. Well, I don't know if it's kind of cute. How are they making their money now?
He has written a book and he appears on radio broadcasts and stuff.
And then he sells his knowledge to prisoners.
Yeah, probably.
Writes some letters.
He should be employed by the French prison service to upgrade their security.
Yeah, he should. Yeah. You could probably think around every sort of little weakness.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But what a legend.
Yeah.
Come on. You can't help but root for him. He made a skeleton key with baby bell wax. Then he melted his way out with an induction heater.
That don't impress me much. The baby bell wax, it was the most genius part of all of this.
What about the nectarine grenades? That's quite good too.
No.
No?
No.
Well, he
don't impress me much.
Nothing impresses Shania Twain. Okay, so you're a rocket scientist. That impresses me.
No such job.
Isn't there?
Rocket scientist.
Yeah, rocket scientist. Make rockets.
They would have a much better title than that if they were making rockets.
Well, I suppose you'd be like a jet propulsion engineer or something.
Yeah,
but
you wouldn't be a rocket scientist, would you?
No.
That don't impress me much either. Right, so anyway, moving on. Impress me with the Scottish word of the week.
Okay, Scottish word of the week. Okay. What is a tatty bogey?
A tatty bogey?
A tatty bogey.
It's not something that comes out your nose, is it?
It does not come out your nose. No.
It's not something that comes out of a tatty teddy's nose.
No, it's not.
A tatty bogey. Is it a food?
No.
Is it an animal?
No.
Is this like 20 questions?
Yeah. Let's see. A bogey or bogle in Scotland is something that scares us.
A tatty bogey. Monster?
No, scarecrow.
Oh, of course. Tatty bogey.
Tatty bogey.
Scares the birds.
Yeah.
Scares me a bit too.
Scarecrows?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wurzel Gummidge was terrifying.
Oh no, not once he was an actual
He
man.
was pretty scary.
But yeah, that whole thing was a bit, wasn't it? Our listeners remember Wurzel Gummidge.
I don't know.
And Catweasel, remember him?
Yes, I remember Catweasel.
They were all really creepy.
Yes.
Wurzel Gummidge pretty much stalked. What was her name? Una Stubbs' character. Aunt Sally.
Yeah.
Pretty much stalked Aunt Sally, in my opinion.
That is a blast from the past.
It certainly is.
It is.
Anyway.
Yeah, but anyway, that's a lighter story, isn't it?
It is a lighter story. I want more true crime. Don't go off on a tangent on this.
Tough. I'm sorry. There's two more amazing French prison escapes with helicopters that have to be.
Yeah, in one episode.
No.
Yeah.
No. It's going to be a long episode if we do it in one.
Mm-hmm. I'd prefer that than this going on for weeks.
Not weeks.
Put my foot down.
We don't have to release them consecutively.
Let us know what you think. Anyway, if you'd like to join us in London for CrimeCon,
then use the code HOOKED.
Yeah, it's on the 3rd and 4th of October. So, and we've also just released a CrimeCon roundup from Birmingham's CrimeCon.
We have, and it's amazing. Birmingham was great fun.
Yeah, it was really good fun. So yes, you'll have
Yep.
to join us on that. I
Yep,
think
use the
that's all
code
we've got
HOOKED for 10% off.
Yeah, and I think that's all the ads we need to do today.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us, everyone. If you see this, then thank you for watching it, because it might get on YouTube.
Yeah, and you've got all the way through it. Maybe put something in the comments. What kind of emojis are there for breaking out of jail? Perhaps there's a jail emoji.
Is there a jailbreak emoji?
There might be. Anything to do with breaking out of jail.
Yeah. In fact, any
Not
emoji.
guns. Don't put guns.
Any emoji that isn't the aubergine.
Yeah. Oh, what was it he used as a grenade?
Nectarine.
A nectarine, yeah. Put some fruit in the comments.
Okay.
Excellent. And like and subscribe. Hype.
Yep.
Those things, apparently.
And we very much hope to see you next crime. Bye! No, I swear to God, no more apprentice for you. What are we doing?
You've got to stay still for a bit so we can have a thumbnail. We can take a screenshot, see?